Chris?
Okay, hello, I'm Christopher Hill. I'm from Douglas, Mass. I'm a marketing major, and we're going to talk today about how to earn trust. The 5 steps. Does anyone like to read them? So, Andy, let's pass it around. What's your name?
Expertise.
Just throw it next person.
Dependability. Candor.
Customer orientation. Compatibility.
Expertise. Does the salesperson know what he or she needs to know? Does the salesperson in her company have the ability and resources to get the job done right? Experience is something hard to get right away for a young salesman. It's not something you learn in a short, just to go into a business. It's something you have to learn over time. Businesses are looking for people to understand the company's products, its industry, and its competitors, and also its general market. Dependability. Can I rely on the salesperson? Does the salesperson keep promises? The first thing that came out of me that came to me in the reading was a quote. I can always depend on her. She always does what she says, and she always does. I'm sorry. I can always depend on her. She always does what she says she's going to do. I feel like that's important because dependability. If she's always going to be dependable, you're always going to keep on that business. Salespeople should always keep their promises because it's just good business. And to help with that, you should write down notes and just keep a tight schedule. Candor. Is the salesperson honest in his or her spoken words? Is the salesperson presentation fair and balanced? You want to be honest with your words that you tell your clients. You shouldn't give them false data, and you shouldn't stretch the truth because it's just going to give you a bad reputation. Salespeople have more words to win over their support of the buyer. For an example, look at medicine companies. If you see a commercial, they talk about the positives about the drugs, and you should also talk about the side effects of the drugs because it shows expertise and trustworthy, and clients respect that. Compatibility. Will the buyer like doing business with the salesperson? Will the buyer like doing business with the salesperson's company? Company's likability is really important because it establishes relationships through the buyer. You want to be friendly, but not too pushy. The buyer you want to also keep, if you give someone information or they tell you something that's confidential, you want to keep it confidential because you don't want to tell other businesses what you're giving them the bottom dollar for, and you just want to keep it honest with your customers. Compatibility.
Sure. What was that last slide again?
Yeah, I totally messed up. I read the wrong one.
That's all right. Did you have we read that last slide? Because I'm taking notes, looking up and down. Did you read that last slide with everybody? I can't remember if we did or not. If you back up one. Whoops.
I didn't read this one.
So throw the football to someone. Have them read that slide out loud. Take some pressure off and get your notes back. Go ahead. Somebody read this for me. Bam. I'll check your notes while he's reading that out loud. Go ahead.
Candor. Is the salesperson honest in his or her spoken words? Is the salesperson's presentation fair and balanced?
Has anybody ever heard the word, as you're looking at that, has anybody ever heard of the word candor before? I'll get a candy too. But has anybody ever heard of the word candor? So it's not used very, very often. And So sometimes people will use it in a sentence, not too, you don't hear it too often, but it's, if someone has good candor, that means that they're trustworthy, and it's the truth of the spoken word. So you don't see the word a whole lot, but it has a lot, it's very relevant in terms of trust and credibility in the business world. So, are you good, or to wrap up?
That was my last one.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. I just totally just messed up all my notes. Alright, this is my last one.
Okay, go ahead.
Alright, customer orientation. You want to believe in what you're selling. You want to believe what you're selling. You want to make them feel satisfied in what they're going to buy. You want... Customers want to deal with people that they like and know. You
Yeah.
want to get that bond, that strong bond that connects them. I look at it as like a going to get your hair cut. It's you always go. I usually go to the same person because we have a connection, we have a bond. If I went to someone else, or if I go there and I get someone else, like if I go downtown, I usually like the skinnier guy with the facial hair because we have something to talk about. We have something in common. We both enjoy basketball, so we have something to talk about, and it helps us. Like, it's better business, and I always give him a much better tip than I will the other guy because I just like the guy better. And it's
Cool.
just a good way of business.
All right.
That one. All right, who asked my first question?
What exactly is the last slide, the compatibility?
Compatibility.
Yeah.
Compatibility. Compatibility is more like a likable relationship that have like if you're kind of like a sketchy guy, they're not gonna really you don't want to buy something. It's almost looking at it like a good friend.
Yeah.
If you have a friend that's gonna screw you over every single time, it's gonna just like
Not going to be friends.
yeah,
with
why would you be friends with them? If you have no benefits, like
Exactly.
that's the point.
Thanks.
I think anyone's gonna ask a question, so I was like, what makes a good friend?
All right, cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Becca, go up and power up. Let's give Chris some feedback. Go ahead. What did you observe?
When you went away from your PowerPoint, it was much better. Like when you just went off of like what you knew, like when you were just talking from what you knew and not from your notes, it was much more clear. You didn't say dumb. At least that's what I noticed. Like when you went away from your PowerPoint, it was much more like
Natural.
yeah, exactly.
How about back there?
Exactly what you're saying, like when you were off the slides, you didn't, like, you slowed down and you were more, like, not, like, knowledgeable about it.
That's just your shirt. Do you guys plan that? Okay. Go ahead, Cody.
Seems like when you're getting nervous, start playing with your button.
But he's still smiling. First of all, appearance, and I meant to mention Mark's appearance as well. How do these two guys look in front of you? They're very well dressed and professional. I like that. Was Chris prepared today? Did he do his homework? Did he get things ready? Was he ready to rock and roll in front of you?
Yeah.
Did he work hard to give you something so that when you're sitting there, you're getting your money's worth today? Did he put his time in?
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, I'm almost glad what happened the first time. And here's why. I put more weight on the second presentation because the first one is like your first time up. And because you guys get to do this twice a semester, and we learn. So one thing I would do, and he followed all Bob's rules. In case I have a brain cramp, I can instantly look down. It's a big font that I can see and everything else. One thing I would do, the slides are numbered, slide 3, 4, 5, but I would put a page number
Yeah, that's what I definitely should have done.
on each one of these. So page 1, 2, 3, in a big, like a magic marker or something that's pretty big at the bottom. So when I spread them out, I know where I'm going. So in case you shuffle a paper or something. I did a keynote speech at the Conley Man restaurant 4 years ago. 3 pieces of paper, just 3. And I didn't step in front of the podium to check it before or anything like that. I've done this a million times, I'm good to go. I go up, there's like 175 people sitting there, I go up, I put my papers down. There's an air conditioning vent on full blast at an angle, threw my 3 paces on the ground, I had to pick them up, and they were out of order. I'm like, oh my God. You can't make that up, guys, that'll never happen again. So I always put numbers on the bottom, because that's how we learn. These kind of things happen.
I wish I stapled it.
Or, yeah, you could staple and just flip
One
them.
like flipped, and I'm just like,
Yeah, just flip one through the
that's
other.
not what I just read.
Yeah. Another thing that might help a little bit, and I've done this before, I'll have a bottle of water up here oftentimes. And sometimes I'll stop and I'll go for a bottle of water. People think that what?
Thirsty.
I'm not thirsty. What do you think I'm doing? Thinking what I'm going to say next. I lost my place. I took off on a little tangent. I need a brief little time out. Then I'll get my notes together, and then I get my thoughts together, and then blam, I'm ready to go. Now there's a technique that we employed. You had a slide, and you had to find something. So he took the football and had someone threw it and had someone read that slide. So one of the things I would do is have people read more slides for you. So that way there's more attention on them and that, and less on you. So you're off to the side looking at, okay, my next slide, I got to make these 3 points. And I want to end on a positive. There's one a great thing that he did at the end with the haircut. What was that? What was the haircut? It was a
Experience.
personal what?
Experience.
Very good, Eric. It was a personal experience. It was a story. When people tell stories, they're natural. It's about them. So that was to incorporate examples into your presentations. It'll work very well. Round of appreciation. Thank you.